Dragon Ball Z, where it's just
Did
explosions in
I
the air.
just hear you say that Usain Bolt was afraid to race you?
As soon as I watched that video, everything changed.
You facing off Usain Bolt.
I'm going to win. We're going on a tour all around the country with it around my neck like a gold chain.
Oh, who's Justin Gatlin? You know what I mean? I've beaten him many times. He's nobody.
He doesn't want to race me around the world all the time because it would just be a battle everywhere.
This one's all like Ash. I see my man turn into Usain Bolt and turn into Gatlin.
Listen to the roar. Justin Gatlin from the USA.
Two of the fastest men of all time, both depicted completely differently by track and field media and fans. Usain Bolt of Jamaica, playing the role of the untouchable hero, beloved all over the world, and American Justin Gatlin, his arch nemesis, the villain who will be the cause of the downfall of the sport if he takes the crown of the fastest man in the world. But how did the world manage to create such a pantomime-esque storyline from two people just trying to run faster than each other? Let's take a trip back to the year 2001, where the story began for these two track rivals. Justin Gatlin announced himself as the next big thing in the sprinting world by winning the 100 meters and 200 meters at the 2001 NCAA Championships as a freshman. Shortly after, however, he was sent crashing back down to earth with the news that he was banned from international competition for 2 years after testing positive for amphetamines, an illegal substance in international track and field. Gatlin appealed the ruling on the grounds that he had been taking the substance for years in the form of a medication that he was using to help with his attention deficit disorder, otherwise known as ADD. As a result, World Athletics allowed him to compete in the NCAA, but maintained the ban that kept him from competing internationally. By the end of the 2002 season, Gatlin had won 6 NCAA sprint titles, absolutely dominating the collegiate circuit before turning pro. That same year, a 15-year-old Usain Bolt became the youngest ever world junior champion, running 20.61 in the 200 meters on his way to victory in front of a home crowd in Kingston, Jamaica. In 2003, Gatlin finally got his chance to compete on the international stage and hit the ground running by winning gold in the 60 meters at the World Indoor Championships in Birmingham, England. Meanwhile, Bolt ran a world junior record time of 20.13 that season in the 200 meters and also won the World Youth Championships. This puts both athletes in a great position to qualify for the 2004 Olympics in Athens, which they both managed to do, although their Olympic debuts could not have possibly been any more contrasting to each other. An injured Bolt crashed out of the first round of the 200 meters with a time of 21.05 seconds, whilst Gatlin picked up gold in the 100 meters, silver in the 4x100 meters, and bronze in the 200 meters, leaving fans believing that he would be the future of track and field. The two phenoms would finally race each other for the first time the following year in the World Championships 200 meter final. Usain Bolt was once again hampered by injury, whilst Gatlin completed a historic 100 meter 200 meter double. Gatlin would continue his dominance in 2006, running a 100 meter world record of 9.77 seconds in Qatar. It looked like Gatlin would be an unbeatable force for many years to come in the sprinting world.
We ain't going nowhere. We can't be stopped now, cause it's bad boy for life.
Shocking news from the American track and field camp involving Justin Gatlin. The doping scandal continues.
Despite claiming that he had been sabotaged by a massage therapist, Gatlin's world record was stripped from him and he received an 8-year ban from track and field, as this was the second time that he had tested positive for a banned substance. However, after appealing against the ban, it was reduced to 4 years. With the man who was taking over the sport being gone for the foreseeable future as a result of yet another track and field doping controversy, the sport was in desperate need of a saviour. In the short amount of time that Justin Gatlin had left the sport, Usain Bolt had transformed himself to the greatest sprinter of all time. Gatlin returned in 2010, but was unable to break the 10-second barrier, largely due to his 4-year absence from racing. In 2011, he qualified for the World Championships in Daegu in the 100 meters, but was eliminated in the semi-finals. Meanwhile, Bolt comfortably qualified for the final, and many were expecting him to better his world record from the previous World Championships.
Oh no, the whole crowd will go. Wow, because that was Usain Bolt.
Despite coming back to win the 200 meters at those championships, 2011 will always be remembered for that notorious false start. In his first 100-meter race after that false start, he would face Gatlin in Zagreb for the first time in 6 years. It seemed like Gatlin was trying to play mind games with Bolt before the race.
For me, it never happened to me until Justin Gatlin. I ran once with him in Zagreb, and he did something which was really funny to me. We were walking back and forth, we were doing our strides out, and he actually spit across my lane. And when he did it, I know he was trying to intimidate me, and I found it really funny because I say, yeah, it would work back in the days. You'd probably somebody off, but I know I'm better than you, so it's not going to bother me. So I found it really funny. So
clearly, Bolt was unaffected as he won the race in a time of 9.85 seconds, whilst Gatlin finished 7th with 10.17. The two would finally meet in a 100-meter championship final for the first time at London 2012 in the Olympic final. Gatlin was running his first global final since 2005, whilst Bolt was looking to avenge his disappointment from the World Championships of the previous year.
And Gatlin got away brilliantly, and he's ahead of the field at the moment, and Bolt going very near. Comes Usain Bolt! Usain Bolt storming through, he takes it again!
Despite Gatlin running a personal best time of 9.79 seconds, the event had evolved so much since the last time that he was on top that it was only good enough for bronze, behind the Jamaican duo of Usain Bolt and Johan Blake, who then went on to finish first and second in the 200 meters. In 2013, Gatlin would finally defeat Bolt over 100 meters, beating him by 100th of a second at a Diamond League meet in Rome. This puts him in a good position heading into that year's World Championships in Moscow.
Away well, Gatlin away slightly better than Bolt, but Bolt now coming through. Gatlin's still heading him at this point, but here comes Usain Bolt. Gatlin's on his shoulder, Bolt wins it, Gatlin in second.
Gatlin improved on his position from the previous year's Olympics, but Bolt was still untouchable, coming away from the championships with yet another 100 meters and 200 meters double. Ever since Bolt took his first sprint crown in 2008, he had been the favourite in every single race that he entered. Although, by the 2015 World Championships, that had all changed.
Leader to love it, the underdogs on top. And I'm gon' shine, homie, until my heart stop. Go ahead, envy me. I'm Raps MVP, and I ain't going nowhere, so you can get to know me.
Gatlin had become the most dominant 100 and 200 meter sprinter in the world once again. He went unbeaten for 2 years in the lead up to the 100 meter World Championship final, absolutely tearing apart the Diamond League circuit, whilst Bolt had been struggling with injury and was struggling to break 10 seconds and 20 seconds in the 100 meters and 200 meters respectively. In the 100 meter World Championships semi-final, Gatlin ran 9.77 seconds, the fastest time ever ran in a semi. Bolt's semi-final, well, let's just say it wasn't as comfortable.
How well's he got away? Not bad, all little stumbled out at the start, and Sue of China is ahead. But Bryant's got a lot of work to do to come through here, or there's going to be a sensation. But just look at him come through when he batted.
Gatlin entered the final as the favourite over Bolt, which made the media feel a certain type of way.
We're enjoying this storyline of the devil in Justin Gatlin and the hero in Usain Bolt.
He has no right for people to like him.
I'm not a Justin Gatlin fan at all. Never have been, actually. Justin damaged the sport.
I must admit, I'm never the biggest fan of Gatlin. A lot of people think that he maybe shouldn't be still competing.
The sport will be in a very sad place.
Why are you asking these questions that happened a decade ago? You're not a history major.
Because a lot of people don't believe your story.
Are you a history major?
I was a history major, actually.
Good, really good. Then maybe you should go do that in a museum or something.
Back when Gatlin was getting beaten by Bolt in the initial years of his comeback, the media coverage surrounding his doping scandal was nowhere near as rampant. But now that he was a genuine threat to Bolt's title as Sprint King, the race was now being billed as good versus evil, hero versus villain. So, would Usain Bolt retain his title as the fastest man in the world? Or would Gatlin reclaim the title 10 years after winning his first World Championship gold, despite the narrative being that his victory would bring the sport into disrepute?
Bolt gets out pretty well, so does Rogers. Gatlin's got out a little bit better though, and Bolt and Gatlin are right together. Here it's Gatlin at the moment, and here comes Usain Bolt, and Bolt gets in! He's saved his title! He's saved his reputation! He may have even saved his sport!
You know, saving the sport and all, I mean, these kind of comments, we're better than that. 66 other people have doping offenses here, 4 in that particular race. If our sport can't forgive these young men and women, why do you let them back in the sport?
Despite protestations from Gatlin's agent and the negative press clearly getting to Gatlin himself, this villain narrative continued whilst Bolt stormed his way to 200-meter victory as well at the World Championships, and it was only about to get worse. Rio 2016 was the final Olympic Games for both of these athletes' careers. Once again, Bolt's year was turbulent due to injury, ultimately resulting in him pulling out of the Olympic trials. He got a medical pass and was selected for the Olympic team nonetheless. Gatlin expressed how he felt about that and would continue to speak about Bolt and his own chances of Olympic gold in the lead up to the games.
So he doesn't want to race me around the world all the time because it would just be a battle everywhere.
But are you going to win?
Justin, we need to hear you say,
we need to guarantee
I'm bringing the gold medal back to the US of A.
Yes. He just said he's going to win.
I'm going to win.
We bring it
USA.
USA.
We bring it
USA.
to New York. We're going on a tour all around the country with it around my neck like a gold chain.
That's what I'm talking about. Justin Gatlin represent.
All of this talk made Usain Bolt mad and gave him the added motivation he needed ahead of the games.
He talk all the time. Big up to yourself, Justin Gatlin.
Oh, who's Justin Gatlin? You know what I mean? I've beaten him many times. He's nobody. I mean, you guys have been through so many drug charges and so many drugs things. I've never, ever yet pointed a finger and say, yo, these guys are making sports bad.
The 2004 Olympic champion against the 2008 and 2012 Olympic champion at the 2016 Olympics. Is this the year that Gatlin finally manages to overtake Bolt? With Bolt now entering the final year of his career, Gatlin would have one final chance to dethrone him at the 2017 World Championships in London.
And listen to the roar. Justin Gatlin from the USA.
Two of the fastest men of all time, both depicted completely differently by track and field media and fans. Usain Bolt of Jamaica, playing the role of the untouchable hero, beloved all over the world, and American Justin Gatlin, his arch nemesis, the villain who will be the cause of the downfall of the sport if he takes the crown of the fastest man in the world.
Remember back in the day when you taught me to live and I taught you to pray. We went in the battle together, no matter the weather, we never delayed. You gave me commands, I always obeyed. I never let you go astray. I never thought I'd see the day that you would come and just betray me. Sick of playing silly games, you never loved me anyway. You should not have let me get away, cause now I'm hunting for my prey. I'm bigger, I'm better, my mind is a weapon. I won't ever let up. You try to break me down and I'ma just get up. They ask me how I did it, I'ma just tell them I rose up. I'm a survivor. Fight for my life. Coming back stronger. I will arise. I'm a survivor. Fight for my life. Coming back stronger. I will arise. Staring at you from afar, analyzing every scar, asking myself how we got here. Remember, this is who we are. I am not here for revenge. I did not come to make amends. Not here to repent for my sins. I just came here to win. I just came here to end. I just came here to fight. Show you everything you said I couldn't be. I became overnight. This for the blood, this is for the tears, this is for my pain and my plight. Two walked in, but only one of us is walking out of here tonight. I'm a survivor. Fight for my life. Coming back stronger. I will arise. I'm a survivor. Fight for my life. Coming back stronger. I will arise.
They keep talking about history, about records. Did you see what Sydney did?
Gauquin's going to win by a gigantic margin.
What will she do next?
And she is unreal.
Block out the noise. I'm here to rewrite the book.
Second McLaughlin smashes the world record.
I'll be